Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. You are tuning in to episode number 229. It's Kaylee here, fresh back from my European extravaganza. Let me tell you, I have been gallivanting around Switzerland and Italy for the past 9 days. I am full-blown jet lagged. I hope I can put some words together that make sense for you today, but I'm certainly going to try. But if I don't, you know why. You know what's happening. I wanted to talk today about this idea that I have. I was helping my sister clean her house. So part of the reason I was in Switzerland is my sister who lives there bought a new house and she's moving in and needed some help sorting out through the boxes and getting the house back in order. You know, it's so much easier to throw out other people's stuff. When it's your own, you have like this emotional attachment to it. And we're going through a box in the bathroom and she has these skincare products that she doesn't use. And I was like, why don't we get rid of these and clear up some space? And she's like, I'm going to finish it out before I open the new bottle. It's stuff she like doesn't use anymore, doesn't even want. And she has better products now. And I was laughing and I'm like, Tawny, using an old skincare product that you literally don't want anymore and you have something better is like continuing to date a guy that you have no interest in just to kind of finish out the dating process before you go and find Mr. Right. Or maybe you found Mr. Right, but like you got to finish out the vacation that you have planned with an old boyfriend or something. Anyway, it was pretty funny, but made me think about also some of the decisions that I've made in the past in my business and just holding on to bad partners or relationships that were like, I knew wasn't right. I knew in my gut, I got to get rid of this or shouldn't even be spending my time on this, or I can't stand that rep or that partner, or that vendor or whatever, but I don't have another option. So I'm just going to like make the most of it or do what I can with it for now. And I'm just not that girl anymore. I think now 8 years into my business, I think of the people that I surround myself with at a completely different standard. And I do think that it's a gift that I have. And I also think that the women who accelerate at fast speed in their business, who are the most agile, who are the most willing to take risks, think like this as well. I think that instead of thinking about the downside or the potential loss or what could happen or what could go wrong, they think about what could go right and what opportunity is ahead of me and don't hold on to things that don't work for them just because they went through a long, arduous process of either making that decision or already have a contract. I've seen this with coaching, like, I got to finish out my contract with my other coach. And it's like, okay, that makes no sense. You're looking for a new coach. Like, this is your brain. But we do this to ourselves. Like, this is a reality. And I get it. And I've seen this with our clients, with marketing, with devices, with skincare, with clinical trainings, with coaching, consulting, you name it. We go through this process of essentially picking a cheaper option or vying for what's easier, simpler, convenient, rather than going through the process of slowing down to distinguish what is really the best option for us, and then taking some time to test that option before we invest. So I want to talk to you a little bit about why I believe strongly in testing before you invest in something. And I want to talk to you about a framework I use and some questions that I ask myself as I'm making a decision on who to work with and who I'm going to partner with in my business. And so I hope this is helpful for you to really think about some things that you could consider in your buying behavior personally as you are building your business to afford yourself the luxury of investing in the absolute best possible, but doing it in a way that leaves you feeling really confident that you're making the right choice. And to know that if it doesn't work out, it's not your fault and you didn't make a bad decision because you're a bad decision maker. It just wasn't the right fit. So most owners slow down their own progress by opting for a cheaper solution and then experiencing subpar results with that solution and then having to go back and redo it all again. So maybe even you've done this with hiring. Maybe you just had somebody you picked like you were in a hurry and you picked somebody that you knew was like a B player and then they didn't work out. Or maybe you've had someone on your team and you weren't ready to make the big investment into somebody that you knew you needed to grow with you into the next version of your business. This can happen in any different aspect of investing in our businesses, but the framework for how to evaluate those decisions doesn't change for me. The reality is that there's a huge gap between average and excellent, meaning everyone will tell you that they'll solve all of your problems, but very few will actually A, understand your problem, B, deliver a product or service that is life-changing, or C, follow through on their commitments and actually do what they say they do. This is a hard lesson for me to learn. This has been hard, especially as somebody who takes under promising and over delivering very seriously in my company, that there are so many people that I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And they fall through the cracks or they don't end up delivering on the promises that they made. And so that's really why I've developed this framework to begin with. And by the way, the good news about this as a business owner is that it doesn't take a whole lot to stand out if you're focused on the right things in your business, because most of your competitors are very average and can't do the small things at an excellent level anyway. The fact of the matter is, because of this, this has been one of the single reasons that I haven't built my company at this point through sponsors and affiliates. And you don't hear me have a lot of industry guests on this podcast. You will very rarely hear me promote a company. And when I do, you know that it means I've done my homework, because who I associate with and who our brand associates with is very important. So I wanted to walk you through this framework to use to really test the legitimacy of a company before you work with them. I'm going to share a few questions that I ask myself in hopes that maybe this will help you really think about how you are aligning yourself with the right partners so that you can confidently make those investments in upside opportunities and work with the right companies. So the first question I ask myself is, are our core values aligned? For example, I do this when I'm hiring somebody. Number one question is, do we have the same core values? So our core values at KLC are going all in, challenging ourselves to grow, and having fun. If somebody is not fun or doesn't enjoy having fun or doesn't want to challenge themselves to grow, I literally had an employee that 3 months in called me and said that she didn't feel like she wanted to learn new things at this stage in her career. And that was the end of it. And I realized after that point on that I would not even engage in an interview with an employee until they understood our core values and felt passionately aligned with what we were all about. I'm asking them, do we have like-minded philosophies? So I know at KLC, our mission is to help 1,000 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business. Is that something that somebody who we partner with wants to be a part of or not? Are they backed behind that? Also, our philosophies about how we approach our business. Like, we show up on time. We expect when somebody promises something, they're going to deliver on it. So I'm asking myself those questions. I'm asking about our products. Do we serve similar problems or have similar goals in mind? I'm asking about, are we on a mission to do the same thing together in the world? And could we make great partners because of that? The next question I'm asking myself is, are they willing or able to meet me in the middle? So this is where I'm asking, hey, how can you show me value ahead of time? So for example, have I learned or applied a principle from their podcast or their course? Is there a sample? Is there a way for me to do a demo? Is there a way for me to test something out? And if not, then is there any guarantee or shared revenue model where we're both putting skin in the game? So I really am asking them to meet me in the middle somehow. And I think that a company that is not willing to do that, that's not willing to meet you in any way or give you a little bit of something so that you can see, touch, and feel the impact that they can make, that would concern me. I would definitely ask, how can you meet me in the middle, or have you shown me value ahead of time? The next question I'm asking is, do they have a proven track record of success at what you are asking them to do? I see this all the time with mentorship when we hire people because we want to learn what they do or how they did it, but they have little to no experience evaluating and adapting their curriculum or their experience to what your needs are. This happens in coaching all the time. I see coaches on the daily preaching themselves as an expert because they've grown one business, and more times than not, they just steer the client the completely wrong direction because all they know how to do is repeat their own process. And no business is alike, starting with its leader, its values, its team members, its location, its customers, its consumer buying behaviors, etc. I would want to know, how can I seek mentorship from this person and how have they done what they've done? I'm going to find out, how do you think? What is the decision-making process you go through? How do you think about the way you approach your business? How do you grow yourself? Instead of asking for tactics from somebody who's done something one time very differently than the way that you need to do it. Or maybe you see an injectable or a laser rep giving business strategy to someone when they've never built a business. They can certainly provide insights on their anecdotal feedback on what they see and other people talk about, but haven't done that themselves. Or maybe you have a marketing company that is working on SEO for you and you need them to run Facebook ads. Do they have a proven track record of success at that aspect? So want to be asking and evaluating, here's my exact need. Show me what your track record is like. Number 4 is, are they respectful of my time and easy to work with? So this seems like an obvious one, but not enough people really ask themselves this question. I like to use an energy test as well. Like, how do I feel when I first meet this person? Do I feel like I want to lean in and spend more time with this person? Do they make me feel more like me? Do I feel that good energy when I'm with them? Or do I feel a little bit anxious or a little bit off put by them? Are they showing up on time? Are they making accommodations to my schedule? The behavior that they're showing in the process of getting to know each other is going to be the same kind of behavior that they're going to show you when you work together. In fact, they're going to be on their A game in the beginning. And so we want to evaluate how they're showing up before we go into any kind of arrangement, agreement, or contract with them. I would be really reading between the lines on all of that. If they casually said to you, oh, I'll send you something tonight, and then they send it 2 days later, that's a great example of when the rubber meets the road and we have a deadline on something, you're not somebody who consistently meets deadlines. So that to me is a red flag. And then number 5 is references. Do they have solid references? So I ask myself these 2 questions regarding references. Do they have solid references? And also, who referred them to me? So I have also found that when I get referrals, maybe someone's referred contractor to me and it hasn't been that great. I'm not going to go back and ask for a reference from that same person. You want to get your references from people who are providing you really great references and that are companies that you've had a track record of success with as well. So I want to, again, understand my own goal and ask for evidence of a track record of success with that. They should be willing to provide you references to talk to. They should be willing to share case studies and examples, multiple of them, of people who they have helped achieve the goals that you want to achieve and beyond. The bottom line is, as consumers, we need to do a better job of disciplining ourselves through the partnership process. I don't care if you're hiring a party planner, all of the team interaction and follow up, all of that will drain your time, energy, and money if you aren't extremely diligent about this, not to mention reputation alignment. I mentioned before how important that is to me. We've heard the term guilty by association. I remember we hired, when I was working for a device company, we had a speaker coming to our booth to speak about our products. And that same speaker, literally the next day, was on stage talking about our competitor. And I thought to myself, am I crazy? How does this make any sense? This same guy is being paid to speak out of both sides of his mouth, essentially. You have to be careful. Don't let that be you, number one. And number two, be careful who you engage with and their intentions. Because if things go south, I mean, look at how many celebrity endorsements go bad because people are rotten. Tiger Woods had his craziness and Nike just pulled that right out. So you have to be careful who you partner with. It's just really that important. And I honestly just wanted to share these few ideas because I just think the faster we can move in our business with the right people, the more we're going to enjoy our business. And kind of moving fast is like slowing down to move fast. I look at it like that. Like I'm going to really take my time, sink deep into doing all of my due diligence ahead of time to make sure that this new hire or this partner, this new marketing company or a contractor, or whoever I'm working with or coach is the real deal. And then I'm going to go all in on that investment and I'm going to pay for the absolute very best because I've already done my work and I've tested ahead of time before I make that investment. So I know with 100% certainty that this is the right move for me. All right, leader, I hope this has been helpful and you enjoy your week. And I will see you same place, same time next Monday. Listen, leader, if you're vibing with me here, hang tight because I have a brand new resource for you. You are a successful, confident, powerful woman who just isn't into being average. No, you have a calling. And part of that calling is requiring you to level up. And I know that if you're working to cross the next $1 million milestone in your business, you need to be in the right circles. And perhaps that's why you found us. I'd love to invite you to join The Blueprint, a weekly resource for inspired, provocative thinkers who are taking this conversation to the next level. Get access to free business tools, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me and my expert team. And of course, a masterfully curated circle of women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetics and wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to klcconsultants.com/blueprint. It's time to elevate. See you there, goddess.